I'm Kate Bonner for the Watercolor Diaries on KBTV Online. Thanks for joining our second installment in our two-part series, Pulling Fish in Pompano Beach. In the last episode, I mentioned that I had quickly learned there is at least one common denominator when it comes to avid fishermen. Everyone has a fishing story. Well, now I too have a fishing story, and it's called Beginner's Luck. It all began just before 8 a.m. We pushed off the dock, headed down the Intercoastal to the Hillsborough Inlet out to the ocean, all said about 2 miles. Before we pushed off the dock, I happened to ask Captain Eddie, Captain Mike's partner, if we were going to catch any fish that day.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a little rough, but once you stop the boat and start fishing, everything's great.
Okay, great. Are we going to catch any fish today?
Probably. You will. You're going to catch a sailfish. One of these guys might get lucky and catch a dolphin or two.
Okay, so I'm expecting to catch a sailfish, and one of these guys might get lucky and catch a dolphin or two. So now we're drifting. The sun is shining. The guys had set up the rods with goggle eyes and released the kites to keep the bait on the ocean's surface. The anticipation began to build. Because I had never fished before, I didn't understand why the guys on the boat were so quiet and seemed so uptight. I thought fishing was supposed to be fun. Then I noticed the intensity of Captain Mike's gaze on the horizon. He, Steve, Captain Eddie, and the rest were peering at the movement of the water in the distance, looking for what I realize now would be the catch of the day. Suddenly, Captain Mike hollered out, "Katie, your rod's got some action." I scampered to the bow of the boat. He handed me my rod. Indeed, there was something biting my goggle eye on the other end. His direction was as follows: "Kate, start reeling. When the fish is fighting hard, let him fight. When he stops fighting, start reeling," and so on. Little did I know I was in for the fight of my life. I'm in pretty good shape, so I was okay with the reeling part. It was where to put the butt of the rod that gave me trouble. I started to lose spots on my gut. Ouch, that's painful. Finally, I sat down and anchored the rod between my legs against the seat. After about 5 minutes, we saw the fish jumping out of the water into the air, about 50 yards off the boat. The guys started to whoop and cheer. Then I saw him. My fish was 10 yards away, leaping in and out of the water. Captain Mike put on his glove, leaned over the side of the boat, grabbed my fish by the nose, and began to pull him out of the water. My fish was fighting hard. He wasn't having it. Finally, he slipped back into the water and fought over to the other side of the boat, where Captain Eddie snagged him and pulled him up on deck. I couldn't believe how big the sailfish was. I heard Steve yell, "Wow, 6 feet!" Then suddenly my sailfish was in my arms. A few seconds later, his tail fanned out and smacked me right in the face. I had never understood how grown men could sit around a table for hours, taking turns talking about this one moment. Now, I do. Thanks for joining our two-part series, Pulling Fish in Pompano Beach. I'm Kate Bonner for the Watercolor Diaries on KBTV Online.